in 1 Corinthians, see, the Bible is very plain about everything, about husband and wife loving one another, about having children, and about the sexual function. So let me mention a word about the sexual function in 1 Corinthians 7, because very few people speak about that much. 1 Corinthians 7, it says here, the sexual function between a husband and wife is called a duty. Verse 3, the husband must fulfill his duty to his wife, and likewise the wife must fulfill her duty to her husband. Because the wife does not have authority over her own body, the husband has. And the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. And therefore, stop depriving one another sexually, except maybe for a time of fasting. Like you can fast from food for a meal or 2 meals. You can fast from sex for a short period of time. But the purpose should be so that you can devote yourself to prayer. And then you must come together again, verse 5. Otherwise, Satan will tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So we see there that the sexual function between man and woman is something God has given to help the man particularly to avoid temptation. So a woman must not open up her husband to temptation by not fulfilling her duty in this area. It's a duty. Many women recognize their duty as mothers to their children. Oh, it is my duty to feed my children, clothe my children. But they don't recognize their duty to their wives, to their husbands in this area. Because the woman does not desire sex as much as the man, so she doesn't often realize it is a duty to her husband in whom God has placed a far greater desire for this than in the woman. But what I want to say here is, sometimes the husband recognizes what it says in the first part of that verse 4. The wife does not have authority over her own body. A wife cannot say to her husband, you got no right to touch my body. If that was the case, you should not have got married. I say to every woman who has that attitude to her husband, you should never have got married. The moment you get married, you lose authority over your own body. It belongs to your husband. I'm not saying that a husband should be thoughtless and ignoring his wife's aches and pains and tiredness. No, he must be considerate. But then the other part is, it says the husband doesn't have authority over his own body, verse 4, but the wife does. What does that mean? I mean, if you tell a husband, that means you should be ready to have sex with your wife anytime. Who says